San Francisco motel, we find Hey Boy running down the stairs of the hotel to greet his good friend and companion, Paladin.
Paddy, what do you want? You want pineapple chicken, almond duck, barbecue pork, sesame seed pork, Toyota Land Cruiser, hot lead enema? Hi, if my kind of life was interesting to you as a Chinese informant.
No, Hey Boy, you dumpy little queen. Just fix up a room here for me and my sister.
Paddy commit incest.
No shit. If anybody asks where I am,
Paddy gestures hypnotically in
and
San
Paladin
Francisco.
does gesture hypnotically in San Francisco and reaches into his pocket to pull forth the card of lust, danger, romance, and adventure. Hand ten, hand ten, hand ten, hand ten, hand ten, ten, hand ten, ten.
This is a song about the citizens of San Francisco. They keep you regular, they're real good for you.
Call any vegetable, call it by name. Call one today, when you get off the train. Call any vegetable, and the chances are good.
Oh man, I saw the vase disaster yesterday. What happened, man? Oh no, that wasn't a disaster. That's I'm making, it's part of my next YouTube, making another channel. I actually am making, I think I'm gonna start with 4 different channels. And it's like a pottery, like a cringe pottery thing that people do, is like they screw up or just kick over their pots as like, it's basically like rage bait, right? Like, you know, what's the thing? Like people see that it get messed up and they're like, oh, dang, like, oh, so, you know, it's just rage bait, right? It's like, I think I'm gonna name it like, clown pottery, or pottery clown. Right? And it's just kind of me gonna be like making fun of that sort of content. So yeah, well the sound was cut off, so I was just like, I just had to do it anyway, you know, so it's all good. No worries. But that's gonna be my new thing. I'm gonna get like a little clown nose that I'm gonna wear for it. So it's just basically like, it's always just like somebody makes something, and usually people don't. The vase came out nice though. So yeah, I mean, I think a lot of times when people do that, they make like a not great looking vase, and then they make not a great looking vase, and then after that they cut it, so they break something that looks terrible, right? So I'm gonna just break stuff that looks good, and so yeah, that's gonna be my plan. Again, we're kind of lifting that up, and so I'm making that. I got like this another channel that I'm making too, and then I'm gonna have 4 that I'm gonna start with and see where it goes from there, right? Because I don't want to do like cringe content on like my videos, my shorts that I post, but like I'll do cringe content on like a test channel, you know. I gotta find like weird ways to destroy the vessels, you know. Oh yeah, why am I doing that? I gotta make tubes. I fact that you want to destroy a nice piece, it coincides with your high level of artistic integrity. Yeah, maybe. It's really not a good, it's actually a negative, like that channel is going to be like a negative force in the world, right? Because like, there's people who've literally gotten like mega famous for just like throwing mediocre pots, and then it just destroyed them, right? It's not that like people like the pots aren't good. That's not why they're following. People follow because they're falling for like the rage bait of them destroying something on purpose, right? And people don't even get to do a good job destroying the piece, right? Like, it's, in my opinion, it's got to be the laziest pottery thing to do. I feel like maybe that's what the channel should be named, like low effort pottery. That's gonna be what the channel's called. Or I wanted to be like a clown, so I also kind of wanted to do like a clown name, but I don't know. And today that's all we're doing is the tubes for the water whistles here. So though. It's not really about rage, it's more about like just making fun of the people who do that content, right? So it needs to be like I'm mocking those people because I think like what they're doing is cringe, you know? I realize that like I can try to find like my own like way through pottery with this channel, right? But it doesn't mean like, and I don't want to be like throwing disses at people with this channel, right? Because that's not really what this channel's about. But I can on other channels. You know what I mean? So that's gonna be a thing that I see in the future, or that's something I want to do in the future. Just because I think it's important. Nobody calls out any of these people. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just so weird. Like, people just accept it, and it's just like all chill. And these people are just milking the viewers for money. You know what I mean? So I feel like these people need to get like, they need to get roasted a little bit. You know? So I'll make better things. I'll destroy things better. And I'm gonna be like dissing them all at the same time. Like, I want people to like comment, like the followers of those people to comment like, bro, get a life, bro. Stop making fun of people. Like, that's what I kind of want.
Don't bother about their friends in the vegetable kingdom. They think, what can I say? What can a person like myself, live on stage at the Fillmore with Psychedelic Dungeon, say to a vegetable? Well, I've considered this problem for at least 45 seconds.
Well, your satire
I've come to the conclusion.
Rage, pottery genre. Either way, I respect the idea. The world is in shambles precisely because schmucks don't get called out on their schmuckery. Yeah, that's what I think.
As my assistants are doing right at this very moment.
Yeah.
Oh, we have to do Jock and John tonight. Just bear in mind some of the important things that you have to discuss with these people. One of them
plus, those people are making millions of dollars doing that content, so they can deal with somebody making fun of them online. You know what I mean? I feel like that tube was a little bit too... a little bit too wide. So we'll bring this in. Dude, seriously, look up like pottery blooper fails. Maybe not. Well, I would tell you probably some of them are making millions, but some of like the very like mid-tier level ones, like there's like this one guy named BW Pottery, and he literally just makes like simple forms and then just destroys them. Like his top like 30 most viewed things are all about him just destroying his vessels in cringe ways. And I think part of it, there's a couple of different things. He's giving off like a Freddie Mercury vibe. He's from like Portland, Oregon, you know, so he has that sort of like aura about him, right? And then he just like breaks things and like and cuts things, and I think it's just like it's very low effort, right? Like pottery, to take something through the whole process, that's like difficult. To destroy something, that's easy, you know, that's like it's really easy to destroy something. And so I just really don't like this guy. He pisses me off every time I see his work. But he has like almost 2 million followers, and I was looking at like I've been like really interested in how much people get paid from short form content, right? And so I'll look and I'll kind of investigate, and there's some people, I watch them, some people will show you their numbers and stuff, and it's crazy to see how much these people make from their content. Like it's a couple million views, you know? It's literally insane. So, yeah, if you want to join me and just make like pots and then destroy them to make fun of these people, join me. We'll do a whole entire like thing just roasting these people.
A new tune. The name of this song is Penis Dimension.
And I just like the idea of like this person, like if I keep doing it over and over and over again and it starts getting traction or something, that this person will see me and be like, dude, you're literally just making content only mocking me. And I'd be like, yeah, well, dude, I have like 2 other channels doing other things too. Like, you're not that important, bro. You know, like, I like the idea that they think that that'd be like my main channel when it's just like some random test channel I'm doing. But
Meanwhile, boys and girls, for your edification, this is a song of inspiration.
Used to be take down a few notches, you know. I threw a couple bowls once, like 30 years ago. It came out terrible, but it was a lot of fun. Yeah, I think a lot of those people need to be taken down a few notches. And I think it's like, there's a lot of, I feel like I'm coming from a world of like, I'm insider baseball, you know, that kind of thing. So like when people see these people's work, they don't see the subtleties. They don't see how they're cutting out their bad polls. They don't see how they're, you know, making the content seem better than it actually is, because they just don't notice those little moments, right? So. Especially since I'm so into video editing, you guys literally see everything because I live stream, you know what I mean? So like you see all my bad polls and everything and how things like really come to be. In those like minute clips, they are literally cherry picking their content. Like, yeah, it's just, and people don't notice. So like you have somebody who's bad, and there's nothing wrong with being bad and posting like work, trying to get better, right? Like I think that's fine. But there's a difference between posting work that you're making and trying to become better than posting work to like milk an audience for money, right? There is a big difference between that, and it really irks me knowing that people are using a process. You know, I don't really like the pottery process, right? But they're using a process that I work with a lot as a way to like abuse the eyes and the time of others, right? Because that's what a view is like you're taking somebody's time, and there's nothing more important than somebody's time, right? And so you're taking that time and you're profiting off of their time doing something that's like not really what you care about. You know, that stuff, man. It's not even care about, it's just like it's not about what they're doing. Like they don't even care about this, right? They literally just care about the views and the getting the money from the thing, right? And so I think it's important for people who, like, at least maybe it's not a necessary, right? But I think it's gonna be fun to make fun of those people who like are just milking people for views, you know. I think I'm looking forward to, hopefully, you know, it could just like, it could be like this channel where I just post a ton and then like nothing happens. But either way, the fact that I'm doing it is the important part, right? Like that's what I want to do. And I have 2 other channels I'm doing, but I won't talk about them. If you come across them, you don't know me. You know, it's like one of those things where you keep it on the DL.
There is enough trouble in the world today, right, brother? Right on! Tommy Smothers! Now, if you're a lady and you got munchkin tits,
what the heck is going on in the background here, yo?
With this age-old line from
Some lady at the at my work today, she was telling me about this guy named Frank Zappa, and was saying that I should listen to some of Frank Zappa's music.
And if you're a guy and you're in this audience tonight and you're ashamed about the size of your dick,
what is going on tonight? Well, this one's definitely, I try to keep things PG, but I guess not on this one, yo.
You're going back to your pad and you got this chick.
That's
This guy
so
hits
funny,
on you,
yo.
right? You're sitting in
I'll have to
your
tell her.
The guy hits on you.
I watched it, it was just
8 inches or
perhaps
less.
maybe not stream appropriate. That's funny though.
You just swivel right back around and look the son of a bitch. Right
That's what we're
in the
listening
eye.
to right now.
You tell
We're
him the
listening
words
to
that could change
Frank
his life.
Zappa.
The words that he should spread wherever he goes. The words that we will say to you right now.
The devotional. Ladies and gentlemen, the Bill Anderson Show from Music City, Nashville, Tennessee, now presents the devotional organ textures of Mr. Wayne Buttram O'Connor Underwood. And a shit-kicking Kyle Diamond, too.
Somebody asked me if I prefer Coke or Pepsi. Okay. I think like on most days, if you gave me a Coke or a Pepsi, I'd pick a Coke, right? But Pepsi kind of has like a nice, like, Coke is something that I drink. Pepsi is something that I want to taste, right? Like Pepsi has a good like there's like a zap to the taste of a first sip of Pepsi. But I think in the long term, Coke I feel like kind of wins, right?
Mechanism which runs up and down the spinal cord and all hooked up to the human brain.
Water mostly slips, so I can't get like a clean. What's it called? Clean takeoff, because my hands are so full of wet clay. That's why I always like to have like a bucket of fresh water near me, so I can just refill quick. But I'm favor of typing and listening to Pottery Demon Philosophy. No, it's all good. Don't worry.
A lethal weapon! I want a nice hand for a lethal weapon! Yes!
But you were saying that...
Everybody, we need you all to sing along! Woodstock Nation, Penis Dimension!
I know exactly what you mean. It's the same for me when I watch knife throwers. I see everything. Yeah. So you get what I mean. You know what I mean? Like, and I don't even know. Maybe there are some people in knife throwing that use it as like, it's not really that they care about knife throwing. They care about views. You know, like, I get a little bit, I don't know. I can imagine you'd get a little bit frustrated seeing those people, right? Where I did 100 throws with no cuts. Nah, I feel like when I watch your content, it felt authentic. So I wouldn't worry about your stuff. I feel like it's very obvious when you know that somebody's like just milking their audience, right? My favorite Coke flavor was salted caramel, but they got rid of it. What? No way they made that. I can't believe it. Good answer. Yeah, that's what I think about, like, Coke and Pepsi. I think, like, if I was to pick a soda to have, though, what would I pick? I think I would pick... It's gotta be the root beer or Dr. Pepper, yo. I feel like those are really great. Something about a root beer it just hits home, you know? Like, it feels like a dessert, where like a Coke just feels like a beverage, like a root beer feels like a dessert, you know? More about skill level. I see.
Meanwhile, for your listening and dancing pleasure, here's a long, involved piece. No, that's their problem. Guess they're too laid back. What is this, Minneapolis? Emotional Oregon, Texas. Who won, man? This is the Duke.
A little more of this rebel here. One.
You're making a mockery of the rock and roll business, Sonny.
Ladies and gentlemen, Al Cooper, he stands alone.
Yeah, I like those. There's a guy who he makes like, he does like that, like cringe fail content, right? But he's also pretty good at the kick wheel, and so I'm not gonna roast him too much. I think out of all the people I don't like in the pottery world, he's probably the one that I'm most like I'll allow for his nonsense, because he's pretty good. But I think he does give low effort. Like, you can tell like he's milking his audience, but he has like skills, right? So he did like I think he has like a record for the most thrown things on a kick wheel in an hour, right? But I feel like haven't seen him like make something like really. I'm not saying I make like like clean objects. A lot of my objects are a little bit looser, right? But I wonder how good he actually is. Maybe he's only good at just making things quick, like production pottery style, and not really good at like trying to find ideas through making, you know? Like, I think when I see a lot of his stuff, it seems unrealized, you know? And he definitely is milking his audience, but he's decent, so I give him a pass, you know? For now, at least. Until I can outdo him, and then I'll roast him, or I'll challenge him. But he also works on a kick wheel. But I also think that that's like, this is my thing. I might stir the pot for some pottery people, right? But I think pottery people, they kind of fetishize kick wheels, right? Like, they think kick wheels are these, like, if you work on a kick wheel, it means you're, like, goated at the process, where, like, literally that's all that's doing is you're also just moving your foot a little bit while you're doing everything. The actual moving of manipulating of clay, that's separate than from kicking a wheel. Just because you're good at kicking a wheel doesn't mean you're really good at manipulating material. You know what I mean? So it's like, would you say somebody who can pat their head and rub their tummy is better at patting their head because they can rub their tummy? Or would you say somebody who's really good at patting their head is better than them at patting their head? You know, like, I wonder what the difference of that really is. That kind of makes sense? I don't know if that really makes sense. But I really am so sick of, like, these dudes who just, like, throw on a freaking kick wheel thinking they're goated. And, like, everybody in the chat's like, on a kick wheel too, this guy is freaking, he's a legend. He's a legend. When you literally have people who are freaking in, like, China who do that, like, 24/7, who are just absolutely goated at it, that don't even get, like, any views, you know? It's like, alright, dude, like, hold on. Like, why is, like, some freaking bogus dude getting, like, tons of views when the people who are actually goated, like, this random guy, like, for example, maybe this dude in Thailand that I watch who's, like, really good, you know? Like, he gets nothing. It just doesn't sit well with me, personally. So, that's what it is, a red herring.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to bring up to the bandstand
A couple more to do. You probably got,
our very own
I like two
budget imitation of somebody
of ones I made. Some of them are actually a little bit way too big. So we'll make the rest of these a little bit smaller. He could be a one-trick pony and not much of an artist. Yeah, I don't mind like the one-trick pony thing. You know, like some people who are really, like, for example, my project, people would probably label me a one-trick pony because of my tree thing. You know what I mean? Like, imagine if I only just kept going along with my trees. Essentially, that's just one-trick pony content, right? I think. Oh, you want me to turn it down a little bit? I can turn it down. But I don't know. I just don't like people who make. It has to be. I take everybody. It's not just like I don't group them together. I think I have to like watch their content. But I think a lot of people who make the mini pots, like little mini things, and they just cut the. I think that's kind of like a little bit like lazy lazy work sometimes, because will make a ton of them, and then people see like 100 of those and are like, oh my gosh, there's so many. But you could literally do 100 of those things in like, I don't know, maybe an hour, or maybe not an hour, maybe like 2 hours. You could do 100 of them if you're really like trying to cruise, you know. And it doesn't take up that much space in a kiln, so like there's a lot of, it's like major shortcuts you're taking with that stuff, right? And then you can just blow it up on an image so it looks the same as like a large pot, right? But then you have the opposite, is like you got the dudes who throw a large pot and like they like totally throw like, oh, I kind of screwed that little bit up there, but they got like this pot that they're totally struggling through to get to that height, right? And it's just bad, like the vessel is bad. But because it's big, you know, like, whoa, I did big thing, you know, it's like caveman brain, you know. So it's like, I don't know, I get a little bit like annoyed at some of those people, right? But if they're really enjoying it, that's no problem, right? But my thing is if you're putting it on the internet and if you're making freaking tons of money on it, get ready. Like, you can't just like expect nobody to say anything. Like, if you're putting it out into the world, you got to also be receptive to the amount of feedback that you're gonna get, and you're not always gonna get positive feedback, you know, like, so. Probably got 2 more we can make now. And I think that's gonna be, I guess we'll do 1 flop before we end the stream. So we gotta keep, I gotta get my clown nose though. I gotta get a little red nose for the flop content. I feel like that would be really good. Because then it's I feel like it's a sign that it's satire a little bit. Like, I feel like that's what we need, is like a little bit like of a sign visually. Because like, for example, last time but last time you were saying like what happened, you know, it was like a tragedy. I think I need to have it more apparent that it's like a joke. You know, but maybe making it look real is good, but then I think like it misses the point. But maybe it is a good thing. I don't know. We'll see. The clown nose seems like a wise plan. Yeah, I think it would be okay. I was thinking a wig, but I don't know. That's too much. But just a nose, I feel like it's a small enough accessory where it would work. Miss a minute or so, got a phone call. I'm doing some dinner prep work over here, but I put in some pictures of that king cake if you want to take a look on later. Oh, like you posted them on your channel? If you post them, I can take a look. Alrighty, I think this will be the last one. Your community section. Yeah, for sure. I feel like it's cool because I think like my memory of them is sometimes they're like brown, sometimes they are colorful. Like, have you ever seen the ones like I remember them like green and purple for some reason? Is that a thing? I don't know. I just remember in my childhood seeing like a green and a purple one. Like people color the bread or the cake part of it. Yeah, purple, green, and gold. There you go. Okay, cool. My memory's not totally shot yet. Oh, this one's stuck a little bit weird. That's okay. Alright. And now we gotta do our screw up vessel of the day. So hold on, guys. I wonder, maybe we'll wedge up the screw ups from last time. Let's see. They might still be too soft though. So if it's too soft, we want to screw it up on purpose, not on accident. You know, we want to make. If we screwed up on accident, then we just have to redo it. You know, like they need to purposely be screwed up. You know. I definitely will probably have one or two of them that I end up just messing up on accident. 'Tis the nature, but anyway, hold on, I'll be back. Accidental scrimps are a whole different genre. Yeah, I'd have to make a new channel just for those ones. That's funny. Alright, hold on, we gotta wedge up some clay here. We'll see. The clay, we might have to wedge this for a little bit though. It might be a little bit too soft. Yeah, it's too soft. It's okay. Camera A. Camera A. Down to the bottom here. Over the top, in. You're gonna see a little bump. You're ready to pick this bump up. There we go. Again, right down to the bottom. Push in. You ever get an onion that just doesn't want to peel? I don't really eat onions or garlic if I can not. I'm not big into spices, to be honest. Like, I just don't like cutting an onion. Like, that knife, I have to like clean it. Obviously you're gonna clean it, but like cleaning an onion or a garlic knife is way different than cleaning like a knife that you use to cut an apple. You know what I mean? Gotta make sure that we don't create a volcano too much on the top. We want to make sure it pops up. You'll see what I mean. So you see how we want to have this not cave in. We want to have kind of like a top there. It's true. Re-cleaning an onion knife. Yeah, I feel like whenever I have to clean an onion knife, it never feels like it's really clean. Even after I soap the heck out of it, I still be smelling some onion smell. No thanks. You know? Zoom? I feel like I can keep the zoom for right now. And we just want to move the clay towards the center, and more so than we're not getting our height right now, right? We want to first get the clay to be even first. Like once our walls are even, then height comes after you get it even, right? So just bring this even. You'll see what I mean when we get to our height range here. So do you see how I only pulled, if I would have pulled the rest of that piece up, right, that bump that we had, I would have probably thinned out this top area maybe a little bit too much, right? And so you want to make sure, a lot of times people will get this top area way too thin. And then after it gets too thin, you know, you can't really get a really great shoulder on the vessel there. Alright, so we're going to go back down. this up here. Alrighty. I'm following you, man. Sweet. Okay, so now we gotta do one. We're not really gonna be getting a big bump here. That's all we're doing is trying to get the vessel as even as we can. So look at how my fingers are creating just like a little notch. And again, we're not trying to really get a bump. We're really just trying to even out the walls of the vessel right now. And so do you see how that bump? We're not really gaining any height from this pole. We're just evening out those walls, getting ready for us to start our shaping, right? So whenever you're making something, just start with a cylinder. You know, just start with your cylinder, right? Okay. Again, get some of this water out of the center. And you saw how wide I started first. A lot of people, they start really tall. I start wide, and then I get height after. You can now put you in front of the wheel with a lump of clay and could come up with something. Are you have you been taking notes of everything? Yeah, I feel like, well, I think a lot of times people get kind of like they try to control a little bit too much of what's going on, and I think people forget that, like, there's not like steps. It's more like tools. You have to engage with these like certain tools to address the clay at certain moments, right? But I always start with just trying to get the cylinder first, not trying to thin out too much, really looking for bends and bumps and stretching the clay instead of squishing the clay. I think you'd probably do a pretty good job if you just sat in front of a wheel. Okay, so right now we're going to start by bellying this object out now. So I'm just making sure the whole interior wall is nice and slick. A little bit of water. Camera A. Ka-chow. Alright, maybe zoom. Maybe zoom is good. How wide is this? Is the pot going to be wider than that? Probably, actually. We'll see. Okay. So we're starting it off like we'd start off any bottom, right? Slow. And just walk the bump out just a little bit. And now I'm taking my fingers and I'm slowly positioning them above the finger on the inside. Okay, so you can see how we're roughing in the shape. We didn't do too much with it now, right? We're very slow about, like, realistically we're gonna belly this out more, right? But we belly it out, we started the belly, and now we're just gonna be refining what's there, right? So don't do it all in one. Kind of work your way. Like you were talking about onions earlier. You know, this is like an onion, right? Just do it in layers. Always in layers. Alright. Jeez, dude. This Frank Zappa, dude, is so unhinged, yo. I feel like we should have made this one a little bit more. If I had I should get my heat gun working, because if I had my heat gun, it's pretty thin on the shoulder, but you can heat up that shoulder, and I could have brought that in a lot more, but for a ruined piece, I feel like it's okay. Alright. Camera A. Alright, so how we're doing this, so let's get these out of the way. We just don't want it to hit our microphone here. So how should we get rid of this one? So I think we already did 2 kicks. So let's do like let's pretend like, okay, what we're gonna do now is we're gonna take the interior of it and we're gonna just pop it out way like a ton, and so then the top just flops, right? So then it looks really real, right? So you guys will see. Alright, so we gotta pretend like, alright, so like, we're just like, oh yeah. Okay, like how, is this looking okay? Okay. I'm gonna mute, everything's gonna be muted, so if I talk during this, it's all gonna be gone, but talking helps me get in the zone. Oh, dude, I like the vase, dude. Okay, so guys, we're gonna do one more pull. One more pull. Okay, we got this. We got this. We got this. Okay, one more pull. One more pull. One more pull. We're gonna go right at the base. Right. Get some water on our elbow. We're gonna start the pull right at the bottom, and we're gonna go. We're gonna go. We're gonna go. We're gonna go. Oh no, no, no. Oh. Man. Okay. That look realistic, guys? Dude, trust me, those flop potters, I'm gonna flop so freaking... They're not ready for how good I'm gonna flop these vessels. There's a new flopper in town, guys. There's a new top flopper in town. Well, the talking's gonna be gone. The talking's gonna be gone, you know, because like we're mocking people, but we can't just be like mean, right? Like we can be mean in like the streaming and the making of the thing, but like the content itself, it can't be mean. It has to be like true to that genre, right? Like flop content, like whenever you look at flop content, like it's like purposely they're screwing up. Like they're screwing up on purpose because they're trying to make a video, right? Like they're attempting to flop, right? Very rarely do you see like actual like flop things, but like when somebody flops, it's always like, come on, man, like, it's just so ridiculous. So like we're playing it up a little bit because that's in context to what it is, right? Say it's a shame that the talking will be gone. Well, the talking is here. You know, the talking is here with you right now. Alright, guys. Also, what time is it? Because I have work here in a little bit. Okay, we're good. We're good. Oh, come on. Alright. Dude, and then like maybe we can bait people too. Like we can be like, we can say something like everything was going right. I don't know what went wrong. You know, like, does anybody know what went wrong? Like that will be the description, and then people will be like, somebody will be like, like one of those people will be like, dude, like you did this wrong. Like they'll try to like actually solve what I did wrong. You know. I think that'd be good. I think that'd be good. Alright, y'all. We did tubes. We did the flop. I don't know if you guys hear some theatrics never go amiss. I know. I feel like I've watched... Dude, I've like rage watched. Like I gotta be careful. Sometimes I get like... I start hate watching. Where I just watch content and I just feel something... evil fester in my soul, you know, like seriously, like I gotta be careful, like, but when I watch what I've seen of that content, like it is really like over the top theatrics, right? And so that's like what we want. I think we really gotta be like, we gotta be like almost like in the same tune. Like if you watch that video and then you watch one of these videos, they'd be like same vibe but like amped up in mine. Like I want to like outdo their like flop. Okay. What else we gotta do? Oh yeah, Did you guys see the whistle lids yesterday? Do you guys want to see those or no? Where's my whistle lids at? Wait, actually, where are they? That's crazy. Where are they? Wait, am I like? Oh, they're on the vessel. That was freaking me out. Yeah. Okay, so here's one of them. So, zoom. Okay, so this is the vessel, right? And so they're going to be the water whistles, right? So this is a jar though, right? But we're going to glaze this jar on here, right? So you remember how my old water whistles, we had the whistle just like hanging off the side of this, right? Well, guess what the whistle is now? The whistle is the lid, right? Right? And so we're kind of hiding. We had to have a venting hole for the sound, right? Or else it's just not going to make any noise. But, yeah. So that's one of them. So we're going to be making 3 of these kind. I kind of like this one a lot. This one I think is pretty nice. They take a little bit longer to make, you know, again. Right. So. But I think they're going to be cool when I glaze the lids on. Because the lids, I'm literally not going to wipe them off, so they're going to be glazed shut. I had this idea when I went to a friend's house, and I saw one of my things being used, and there was like pencils and stuff in my object. And like, my vessels aren't too good for pencils. I'm not saying that, right? But I remember I was like a little bit like, ew, like, stuff actually goes in vessels? Oh, I forgot about that, you know? And so I was like, you know what, I just want to make some jars that like you literally glaze the lids on so people can't use the jars. And then I was like, oh wait, well like, how can I make that functional is by attaching the whistle onto this, you know what I mean? So, anyway. Pretty exciting stuff we got going on. So, and then the tubes that I made, these tubes are going to go on here, you know what I mean? So they're going to be like the connection things. I'm still not in love with the tubes, and then also the jars allow us to kind of like, well, maybe not on this one, it's a little bit too narrow for us to put our hand in, but like the goal was that hopefully our hand can be in there to like get the bond of the tube a little bit better, right? Obsolence with the illusion of functionality. I get it now. Enforced. Man, you guys always use such big words, yo. Like enforced, obsolence, illusion, and functionality. Like those are some dense words, dude. So enforced, I know what that means. Obsolescence. I don't really know what that means. With illusion of functionality. So enforced non-functionality, that's what I'm thinking, is that it's the opposite of functionality. So enforced non-functionality with illusion of functionality. Enforced non-functionality. Yes. With illusion of functionality. Well, there's actually a practical functionality with the vessel, right? Like it makes sound. So it's like, yeah, like there's a uselessness to glazing a lid down, right? So like when somebody goes to pick the thing up and take this lid off, like there is a, like, you're essentially, it's like visual form sleight of hand, right? Like you go to take the lid off, the lid will be glazed down. So you're like, what the heck? And it's going to be connected to another vessel, right? The goal would to be to one day make this vessel make its own sound without anything added, like not a secondary shape, right? So make a vessel that when you tilt it or something, or when you pick it up, right, it makes sound, right? And so like people be like, what? The lid's not coming off. What the heck? And then they'll tilt it and they'll start making sound. So it's like a functionality sleight of hand, you know? Like not intended. It's like an illusion. I'm trying to, illusionary, I don't know. There's probably some cool word that we can come up with for these vessels here, you know? And this is just Gen 1 of these, right? This is the first time I ever put a whistle in a lid, you know? So we're going to keep dabbling with the idea. But yeah. I kind of like these ones a lot. I like the ones. I gotta get this little booger out of this thing. I like the ones that have like this little like cap on them, right? So you can see too, like if I put my thumb over this hole, no, you don't get any sound, but yeah, we'll see. I mean, realistically, this is closer to the original water whistles than my water whistles, because the original water whistles you see, they have like anything from a parrot or a fox covering the whistle itself, right? So the actual water whistles, they are hiding the whistle. Where before, I was kind of dressing up the whistle, like I had the whistle there, and then I'd like make something on top of it so the whistle becomes the body of the object. Where now with these, I'm kind of like doing what it was originally doing, right? But I'm not putting, I guess, an animal on it. They're just being lids. But I do think that there's something different about them being jars first, and then that lid being the whistle that's different from then what they were, you know, originally. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate it. We're just gonna keep on cruising. I think every stream we're gonna do one flop. I gotta get a clown nose here, so I gotta get a red nose, and I don't know where I'd even get a clown nose. Probably like a costume store, but I don't even know if they're open right now during winter. But anyway, peace out, guys. Thanks for watching. All the best and strong mentality. Does that not work? All the best and strong mentality. Oh well, it doesn't work. Anyway, guys, bye. Also, I'll look at your king cake.